Jen Morrow, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Again.
too. Again, you're back.
Been in here a few times with my son William and my wife Michelle. So it's great to actually sit down and have a conversation because a new business and you're I assume you're a little busy doing
it's okay.
things.
It's busy, but this is really a project that I'm glad you started up, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, before I even ask you, do you personally have a passion for the combination of books and wine? Let's start with how it started. How did Bards
Sure.
Alley begin? Was there a thought, a catalyst for it, or was it more of a process? Something you've always wanted to do? How did Bards Alley begin?
I actually get that question a lot, and people often say, "Oh, how lucky, that you had your dream come true," and it really wasn't that way at all. I think I always had the entrepreneurial bug in me, but I wasn't sure how it would kind of come to surface. And I had the opportunity to stay home with my kids for a while when they were really young, and I just started thinking, okay, now I have this break from working, and what could I do if I really wanted to just start fresh? And I realized I missed going to a bookstore, and I thought Vienna was the perfect community for a bookstore. And it really kind of was a hobby in the beginning because like I said, my son had just started kindergarten, and my daughter was, she was only 3, and I kind of took some free time to research it, meet people in the industry, and I just really liked what I heard and what I saw, and then I just pursued the path of making it happen.
Sure.
And it was probably about 5 years of that kind of research.
Wow.
From the idea becoming, when we opened our doors.
So in this age of Amazon and other online booksellers where people can get a book the same day, and digitally perhaps
Right. Mm-hmm.
is an option to this is obviously, I think it's obvious to anybody that this is not meant to replace that experience, right? When television came along, it wasn't meant to replace radio, and everybody thought it would kill radio.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are in 2020, where you can watch a video of anything you want at a moment's notice, and yet the podcast is thriving.
Right.
Maybe because of commute time.
Right, true.
But so without me answering the question that I'm posing, what is your thought about that? Do you see it as competition, or if not, what's your theory behind capturing customers who are maybe considering Amazon?
So that's a question I also get a lot about competition, and one of the reasons I brought in the cafe when I opened was because I did want it to be more of an experience. And yes, Amazon, other online retailers are definitely competition, but I never was really trying to go after those customers. I really felt like there is a community around people who want to shop at indie bookstores,
Right.
and have a more curated experience. So
Right.
when you look at all of the inventory we have here, you couldn't read it in a lifetime, and so it's constantly changing.
Right.
We're keeping it fresh. We also are a destination for events and things, which you can't get through that kind of a retailer. And something that you'll probably hear from other local businesses is how by just shopping here, you're giving back to your own community.
Right.
And so that's another thing that we are proud of, and how we provide jobs, we provide taxes back directly into Vienna. I personally wanted to bring in local vendors, so we buy food from other small shops
Sure.
who are based in Vienna.
Right.
And so it just kind of keeps everything very, very local. And now we've started to think more globally, and the sustainable part of it, with packaging and recycling and transportation costs. So when you really look at it, other than just something that's quick and easy, and really think about it a little more consciously.
Yeah.
That experience and what it can do for your community. All those benefits.
Yeah.
Was what we can offer. And my staff is amazing. People come in just for their recommendations, and it just makes it a more personal experience.
Awesome.
So. Yeah.
So what are some of the local vendors that you have, or some of the things that you have here that you sell or you're providing?
Well, a lot of it is in the cafe. So we have the soup. We work with 100 Bowls of Soup, which is based out of Herndon.
Okay.
And they've been there about 8 years now, and people really love coming in for the bowl of soup and a book. And we also have hummus and other baked goods that are locally made. We just brought in a card line called Little Goat, and she's based in Arlington. And so with our stationery lines, we try to have a diverse selection because, just the art of the thank you note and writing and keeping in touch, it kind of goes hand in hand with something like literature and reading. And so we do try to offer different things, as far as gifts and, just anything that you might think of as related to writing.
Right.
So, so those are just a few, that come to mind.
Cool.
And
That's awesome. I love that idea.
Yeah.
There's huge value in making a decision between, do I really need to get this whatever off of? Do I need it now?
Right.
Or can I take a breath and go, you know what? Let me get the kids and we'll walk down a church street and just take our time and not get caught up in the of Northern Virginia.
It is intense.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the word that comes to mind for me is journey. And when you come to Bards Alley or decide to walk to Cafe Amore for your coffee, you are making choices.
Right.
And by choosing, to come to Bards Alley, that journey, you don't know what you're going to find along the way. And I can't tell you the number of conversations between strangers, that I've overheard. And customers will recommend books to other customers, or they will find out that they have something in common. They might just casually be, sitting at the bar, or they're a member of one of our book clubs, and you don't get that with your head down on the screen.
Right.
I certainly understand people have e-readers. I listen to audiobooks, in addition to reading traditional books, but and it's fine to have a mix, of all those things. I just want people to read. Curiosity. Whether it's about like science and nature, which is the section here, or the fiction. Like I get so excited about certain authors that I know are publishing books, and I think just to have to take that step back, and do exactly what you're describing, where you are making that conscious decision to go that route and not just go for the instant gratification.
Right.
It just is worth more to you, personally.
That's true.
And I feel like, especially with a bookstore, that's what we're trying to promote here, is that it's a destination, just to browse. You may know exactly what you want, or you may just want a recommendation from us, and that's one of our favorite things to do. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned events and things. Are there any events that you do here in the store that you'd like to highlight for anybody who might be reading, watching, or listening?
We do it all.
Hopefully reading.
I know. We actually, like I mentioned, we have a lot of book clubs. So if you go on our website, you can see when they are and what they're reading. We do a story time every Saturday, and this Saturday we have the Paper Bag Princess is the 40th anniversary of that picture book, so we're gonna have a special story time. So that's Saturdays at 11. But and we've started some recurring events where we want to celebrate things that we love here. So we do once a month we have a Shakespeare Sunday, once a month we have Folklore Friday, and it's really just the staff and sometimes guests coming in to talk about those things, because and I'll tell you later about what inspired me to name the store
Yes.
Bards Alley. And in April, last Saturday in April is Independent Bookstore Day, and we always have a huge celebration. We're already lining up authors to come in all day. We're gonna have a popcorn machine and
Awesome.
probably face painting. We're gonna also do our book hunt, which we've done the past couple years, where we wrap up the advanced reader copies and hide them around town.
Oh,
We're gonna
cool.
do something a little bit different, a little different spin on it this year, just to hopefully get more people engaged. And yeah, so it's a really fun day for us, and I think it'll be good for just for the book industry as a whole. So we're participating with, they're actually doing a bookstore crawl between Northern Virginia, DC, and Maryland. So there will be some promotional things. We're going to be giving away like tote bags and different things. And if you go to a certain number of bookstores through that crawl, then you get a prize. So that's new this year.
Awesome.
And then we're just always looking at bringing in authors and different events throughout the year. Fall is a big season with new releases, and so we're working on scheduling more things in the store.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I do follow, I think I'm on the Facebook, and the events pop up and they're well written.
They better be.
Yeah, and they sound interesting, and I wish I had.
I know you could do it all.
I wish I could do it all. It's really, they seem exciting and fun. But we do come in here, and my son, I love going back there.
Yeah.
When we did live next door, it was
Yeah.
great to
Yeah.
sit on the bean bags and just
Yeah.
read a book and stuff.
I know.
So it was.
And
really great.
it still happens, with other families, and that's what I like. Grandparents come in, they're like, yeah, every time we come visit, we bring the grandkids here, and they get to pick out a book, and so I love that. Just love that.
So, Bards
Mm-hmm.
Alley. So you're adjacent to the alley, which I don't know if it does have a name or not. I don't think it does.
It doesn't. Yeah. No.
So, but it does.
I know it is. I'm gonna name it.
Where did the name come from, Bards? Or
Yeah, well, it
Yeah.
was. So I didn't actually have this space secured yet. When I came up with the name, but I was actually at Basin's with my husband, just having a drink, and this picture of Shakespeare popped up on the TV, and I was just kind of came out of nowhere. I just said, "How about Bard's Alley?" Because we love Shakespeare in our house, and I started thinking of, and I love the idea of a bard who's a storyteller, and I really think everybody has a story to tell. I love stories told through music. I love stories, obviously told through books, or just, oratory stories, just all the different ways you can tell stories. So I just love that vision of a bard. And then the alley part kind of was through Diagon Alley, through Harry Potter, where it was a place of a discovery. So I really wanted it to be where you could come in and just kind of meander through the shelves and discover something new. And so I thought, and then later I was like, okay, it's kind of a mashup of old classics and new classics. So it's, kind of storytelling of old and a new classic, which is Harry Potter,
Right.
and something that I love. So that's kind of where we are. So
Love
with
it.
Bard's Alley, yeah. So and it really stuck. And right now we kind of evolved. So now we're like Bard's Alley Bookshop, Cafe. So it's like think of a bookshop and cafe.
Right.
The tagline that I use is Books, Wine, Kindred Spirits. So, yeah, that's just kind of the vision.
what is your involvement in the community? Are there any volunteer things that you do? I don't really know how it works. You have to forgive my ignorance.
I didn't
but-
know either. It was all new to me.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, before I opened, I stalked the mayor a little bit. I went on one of her walks, Friday walks, because I really thought I needed these connections. I needed to get to know how things worked, from a business perspective, a little more. And so, I thought I would just go, and some other council members were on the walk, and some residents, and I just was chatting with them this is years before I even opened, just about my idea. And I just wanted to take the temperature, and of course, who wouldn't want an independent bookstore in their town? But there's a reason there's not one in every town. I mean, the profit margin is extremely low, just the way it's set up, because the price of the book is printed on it, and you cannot, you don't have the same kind of markup you can do in traditional other retail markets.
Right.
So again, that's why we have a combination of not just books, but also gifts and stationery, the cafe. And again, it was a conscious decision because I really wanted it to be a destination and have wine mainly to go with events and book clubs and things. And anyway, so fast forward, and I joined the Vienna Business Association again because I wanted to hear from other entrepreneurs, people who've been in business a while, just some things to think about. And the advice I've gotten from other folks in town has been amazing. And then as I got my feet under me, I was really surprised that people wanted to hear from me. So I've been invited to talk to the Optimist Club of Vienna, participate, in different, just community events. And we really do try, when we can get the resources together to do community things. So we were in the Halloween parade last year, which was nutso, because we actually made a float, and I just have to credit Phil Charlwood for all the help that he's given me on these creative ventures. But we felt like, because the theme was fairy tales and we're a bookstore, and we had a great time doing it. It was a lot of fun, and we actually got third place in one category, so that was great. And then the year before, we did the window decorating contest, and it's it's a lot of just fun things, because the community comes out and they want to see that local businesses are participating, in these things. And even though we're small and don't have a lot of staff, we love what we do, and so we really want to put that energy into community events. And hopefully, as we're here longer, we can do more. I would love to participate in other things like the Oktoberfest, do some sponsorships. We have another really great event coming up. We're partnering with the Wine Outlet. It's a neighbor of ours right here, where an author's coming in and they're doing a wine tasting. It's called Wine for Normal People, so you should put that one on your calendar. Okay. Excuse me. But the author lives in Virginia, and we have a lot of the same customers, and we just thought it would be a really fun event to do. We're partnering with Blend 111 to do some author dinners, just to kind of mix up the type of thing that because we can only do so much here, but we have such great venues, all around, like Jam and Java, the libraries. We've partnered with them to do pretty large events, and we're talking about some things we're going to do in the fall. So it's really just kind of taking what we've created here, and just trying to enhance that, with working with schools and other parts of the community.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so what kind of lessons learned, advice can you give to the maybe it is somebody who's leaving a government job or a corporate job, and they want to try their hand at something entrepreneurial, and they have the skill set and they know they can do it, and they've gone through all the administrative hoops, and they really understand the type of effort that it's gonna take to get behind a venture such as this. What are some of the intangibles that you can offer somebody, maybe specifically about Vienna and owning a business in Vienna, and just small business entrepreneurialism in general? Yeah.
That's a big question.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's a huge question, and it's a little bit of a part of this is understanding who you are and your story, but also what's a valuable takeaway that somebody listening can walk away from and say, I'm gonna jot that one down. If it's not a person, but maybe a thought or an idea, right?
Well, I think for me, like, it was really hard while I was trying to open, because everything was so new. I had never done all of these things, like, the getting permits, reviewing the lease. I mean, all of that. It was so tedious and time consuming.
Right.
But I always said to myself, you know what? No matter what happens in the future, at least I've done this. I calculated the risks. I'm working with experts. I'm getting advice. I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
I wish I would have taken time to fast forward to once I opened and set up some more kind of infrastructure, logistical things around kind of my life and just the business side of it, because literally once I opened, just kind of keeping the lights on every day, making sure there were people here, the books were here, the dishwasher isn't broken or whatever, because it's like a second home almost. Right. Every little thing, a light bulb needs to be changed, or this or that. It's us doing it.
Right.
So I didn't really give myself time to kind of think more strategically on the operation side.
Right.
And I didn't have anybody doing it, and so I paid for that because it was just a real
in time.
Yeah, in time. So I think
not that you would have gone back and paid somebody to do it.
No, I think I just would have researched
expectations.
Yeah, and I could have researched whether it was QuickBooks or something, just something to help me, just to know that day one, okay, you need to be disciplined about data, and
sure.
That's kind of one thing.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things you can't predict.
Right.
Once you open, and
right.
Not everything is the same today as
Sure.
the day that we opened.
Right.
But we do know. Yeah.
Going back to what you talked about before about the journey, right?
Yeah.
Is that perhaps if you had a partner or a mentor or somebody that gave you all the answers, it would have been easier. It might have alleviated some stress and some time. But there's something about, call them mistakes, or
yeah, right.
Whatever the word is, I'm sure maybe you could come up with a better word.
There's a book. Yeah. It's a kid's book, and it's called Beautiful Oops. That's what a mistake is. It's a beautiful oops.
Yeah.
And it's just you have to take it, and now I wish I could say I'm good at that, but it's
right.
Sometimes I'm better than others. But I think I did go to this SBA, small business, and got a mentor because I was in a really sticky widget, and I thought, okay, and it's a free service, so that was a valuable use of time. They have webinars and seminars, and I'm signed up for one next week. So, I mean, you have to kind of use the resources that are available to you,
right.
And whether it's, and that's the other thing when we're talking about the whole competition, online competition. It's just talk to people, and that's what I love about the store here is the conversations that happen and the connections, and that's what I do. I just talk to people. I go to the VBA meetings, I go, talk to people when they're in here. I really love, you never know if somebody's gone through the same thing you have, or, maybe has a solution or a contact. And so I think I have a lot of mentors who don't know they're my mentors.
Right. Right.
But I know I can go to them when I really need advice.
Right.
So it's like a formal relationship.
Yeah.
And
or like
that's,
heroes almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And and I think, I've just all the different age groups of people that come in here. I had a young customer come in who wanted to meet me because he has written his own books and he sells them, and he wanted to show me. We had a great chat, and it was really amazing that he was already drawing and writing these books.
That's cool.
And I can't wait to see what he does someday. And then we have just like some amazing published local authors who support us in a big way. They come out for our events. They come in and sign books for us. That is a special thing. We have regulars that come in for coffee, and I asked Bob, I said, don't take this the wrong way, but where did you go before I opened? Because he comes in 3 times a week, and he buys a lot of books, and he's like, I went to Starbucks, and he's like, but this is so much better, and so everybody just, they have different needs, and we're evolving. The bookstore industry is evolving. I'm a member of regional and national trade groups, and we just launched an online site called Bookshop. So it's Bookshop, one word, and it's directly to kind of go head to head with Amazon. So you can now order through Bookshop and get things delivered to your door.
Bookshop.com.
Bookshop.com. Yes.
Got it.
And as a participant, if you go through our link, we get a portion of the profits. Affiliates can link through that.
Right.
And this is very much in the weeds, but
Sure.
I just think it's important for people to know you do have a choice.
This is not in the weeds.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can.
This is huge.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
I didn't know about
yes.
this. Yeah.
So you can.
But it's easy, so it's
is.
not in the weeds, right?
You can subscribe to Audible,
Right.
which is
$10 a month, or
the behemoth, or
Sure.
you can subscribe to Libro FM, which directly benefits indie bookstores.
LIBRO.
Yeah, FM.
FM.com.
Yeah. And all these links are on our website. And it's just things where you can make a choice, but it's directly benefiting indies. So the e-reader one is coming soon. Right now we have the audiobooks, which is Libro FM, Bookshop, which is direct to home delivery, and coming soon an ebook choice. So and it's all because the indies and the trade association, they're all kind of getting together,
Right.
because it really does take all of us together.
Yes.
Because we're all so unique. But Vienna is an amazing town to have a bookstore. I mean, people are really supportive, and I really hope we can keep sustaining our growth so that we can do more in the community. I feel like I'm still a little bit of an infant stage because we're not quite at 3 years, and it's just this is a really kind of
Make it or break it.
I was gonna say like tipping point.
Sure.
It's really getting into the point in the life cycle, I guess, of opening up a small business. I mean, the numbers are astounding when you look at just how many fail and have to close.
Right.
So it's great that we have the support, and
That's great.
people keep coming
So
back.
you'll be here for
Yeah,
hopefully
so we'll be
many
here.
years to come.
I know.
That's
and
fantastic.
so many great new businesses coming into town.
Yeah. So if someone is spending, they're walking along Church Street and it's warm outside, and they stop in and they buy a book, aside from your beautiful patio, which I remember when it got hit by a car.
Yeah, it was hit by a semi, I think.
And somebody caught it,
Yes.
and it's now fixed
Yes.
and beautiful. Aside from that area, are there any secret spots in Vienna that you can recommend, or that that people can go and sit and read a book?
I love that question. Well, we do have our patio, yes, we're trying to make it very, I think the word is hygge, where it's just, little its own little secret spot. But I think when we sponsored a bench for the Vienna Art Society auction, and those benches, you know, the ones that are still out in the public are great spots. I think there's still some on the town green. So, I mean, I think that's the perfect spot for me. You know, if I had like a day to just go and read, which amazingly I read a lot less. Actually, I probably read the same, but just a lot different things now. But that's another question. But and then I will actually love the Cabooses patio, and
in
just
Centennial
to have,
Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so nice.
Yeah.
Even the one here in Vienna.
Yep.
Like where you can just go, you know, have a beer and sit out there, and it's just a really quiet part of the trail there to sit.
Right.
I think that's a great place.
By Caboose Brewing Company.
Yeah, by the brewing company.
Yeah.
And you mean by
the red
actual
Caboose.
red Caboose?
Yeah, that's called.
a good. Is it? Okay.
That's called Centennial
Okay.
Park.
And the mural, where the mural is, kind of near there. Okay.
That mural's by a gentleman who's 101 years old named Harris Miller.
He's still around?
He's still alive. I would
Wow.
love to interview him.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Harold.
And like,
Come on.
or Harris.
Harris.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Vienna Art Society lady was telling me about him, and then, anyway, yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, I think, I think we're just, it's the way the Vienna is with the bike trail, the WNOD going right through. I mean, you can just put your book in your backpack and just ride, and then just stop along the trail and read. I think, when you just kind of find out all the different parks, it's just a great little community for, just taking a break from, like you said, just life in Northern Virginia. But, we definitely encourage people to come and read here and, just enjoy.
How long have you lived in Vienna?
Almost 13 years.
Okay, so 2007.
Seven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when we moved here, bought our house right before I had my son Ethan. So he was born in 2007. And Tess was born in 2009.
Cool.
And Bards was born in 2017. I mean, I come in here every day with a plan.
Yeah.
And I never get to do what my plan is, and then I have to leave and take care of my family and my life outside of here, and then I come back the next day, and it's like all over again. But it's worth it. I mean, it's I hope it doesn't come off like snobby, because we have customers come in and they're like, well, I don't read, I'm with her, or something, and you're just like, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's just, that's kind of the mission part of what we do is really the sustainability, kind of like social. I guess the way we kind of revised our mission statement a little bit, and we're like, okay, we are about like social and environmental consciousness, sustainability, where we can, and whimsy. Like we just want people to relax, have fun, indulge in a book, laugh with your kids, come meet somebody in a book group, have a glass of wine, a chat, and we'll see you when we see you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Jen, thank you so
You're
much for your time. And
good luck with the rest of
answering all my
your
questions. It's gonna
your
be fun.
interviews.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really
Okay.
appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
We're out.
And cut.